Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Ted Caleris, Superintendent for the Brooklyn City Schools. We're here with our latest episode of the Hurricane Watch podcast. I am joined by two of our outstanding students here at Brooklyn High School, Miss Deliz, our Assistant Superintendent and Director of Curriculum, and Mr. Chris Roegiers, longtime science teacher at the high school, but also our department chair. How's everybody doing?
Great.
I'm doing well.
Great. I'm good today.
So let's start. So today we're going to talk about all things science, and part of the reason for the conversation is to generate some excitement for our new renovated science labs that are happening at Brooklyn High School starting in June. So what I like very quickly is just kind of an introduction, who you are, kind of where you're going. So my junior, seniors, what you're thinking about majoring in, and then for our staff members, just talk a little bit about your experiences and how long you've been here. So let's start with Mr. Roegiers.
Hi, I'm Mr. Roegiers. I've been here this is my 20th year at Brooklyn as a high school science teacher, primarily chemistry and forensics right now.
Outstanding.
Hi, I'm Nicolle. I'm a senior going to OSU for biomedical engineering.
Hi, I'm Kamille. I'm a sophomore, and I'm starting Caleris next year for business.
Hi, I'm Lisa Deliz, the Assistant Superintendent, and this is my 4th year in the district.
All right, we'll start with Mr. Roegiers. Mr. Roegiers, rumor is that somebody in the superintendent may have way back when been a science teacher here in the district, and the room that you're in was his teaching, his first room. Is that true?
I have seen some evidence that possibly Dr. Caleris was in my room way back when.
So let's focus on science. Let's focus on the facilities. Tell me, like, first thing really kind of bringing attention, like part of the renovation process is looking at our learning space. Tell me about our current lab setup and all of our rooms, and really tell everybody why this renovation is so important regarding science and STEM education.
Yeah, so a lot of our labs are very old. They have equipment that is starting to, the electrical and some of the gas and facilities like that, just safety features are lacking. And so this is going to give us an opportunity to have a more updated facility, be able to better do labs and have that ability to move about the room and collaborate and that kind of stuff that we try to do.
Tell us some of the obviously science education can be multifaceted. Tell me what the type of labs we do, and how do we try to extend that learning for our students?
Yeah, the labs are a part of our learning, and so we are really trying to utilize labs as not to show what they've learned, but to facilitate that learning. So we do the labs, and then using that for the students to actually be scientists and explain what it is that they are learning and seeing, and explaining all that science is what we're really trying to do.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna move over to Nicolle here. Nicolle, you're a senior. You are going into, what's your major in school going to be when you get to college?
Biomedical engineering.
So why biomedical engineering?
I just really, really like science and math, so I just kind of try to get something related, and I just really want to work in labs or creating new stuff. So
I'll say, so obviously both of you, Mr. Roegiers is your favorite science teacher, obviously, right? But tell me why you really like his class, what you get out of his class, and how you think then, Kamille, maybe you can answer this too. How do you think our science classes have prepared you moving forward?
I think they're very engaging, and there's a lot of hands-on work that just really helps you get all the material in the class. I learned a lot from chemistry, and I really enjoy the class a lot more than others. So
Outstanding. Good answer. Kamille?
A lot of other science classes, like biology and other science classes I had in the school, it's not a lot of hands-on work. And when I came to chemistry, we're doing a lot of labs and hands-on. I think it's helping me because I think I'm a hands-on learner. So it really helps me, and the labs being when they're upgraded, it'll be able to help with more hands-on work.
Very good. I'm going to switch gears here to Miss Deliz. and obviously part of our curriculum and education looks to extend that science learning. So with these new renovations, what types of things can our students and our staff expect with these science renovations?
I think walking in the room and having a state-of-the-art facility where you're getting the best materials and the best learning space where you can actually collaborate and work with your peers, and just seeing that the district has put that effort in to to your education, and being able to, when you go off to college or go off to your next steps, knowing that you were totally prepared, you have great teachers and a great facility to learn in.
Outstanding. Tell me about, let's go back to our students here. Tell me about your favorite activity you've done in Mr. Roegiers' class, whether it's forensics, whether it's chemistry. I remember being one of the judges for the Grinch, who stole the Christmas Grinch activity. But tell me about your favorite activity with regards to science and why.
I think any chemistry labs were fun for me. I didn't take forensics. I went straight to AP Bio. But yeah, just chemistry. The labs were really fun with like my friends and stuff. They were just fun. I would always get them wrong, but
But in science you're allowed to get them wrong, right?
right,
Why is that?
because you get help from teachers and you just learn from it.
All right, good. Camille?
I think in chemistry, with all the hands-on work, I really like being able to go back and do the labs, because then we can also talk, and we all we don't really know what we're doing sometimes, so then we all really talk and communicate with each other, and then we usually always come to a conclusion.
But that's science, right? You're not
Yes.
really supposed to know what you're doing. You're supposed to experiment. And I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times, but even the wrong result, you learn something in science, correct? Mr. Roegiers, tell me a little bit about how your teaching has evolved over the last 2 decades. I mean, we have seen increase in technology. I mean, I remember being in that room way back when, and I had the old overhead and didn't have a smart board and had to create everything on my own. Tell me about your evolution as a teacher, the things that you use from a technology standpoint that kind of enhances your teaching.
Yeah, if it's funny when I look at where I started in my career to where I am now, I'm a completely different teacher. I really try to focus on modeling instruction, which is really getting kids to think about how can they represent what they're seeing, not just being able to go through and do problems or make a conclusion, but to really explain and show what is happening. And so part of that is with the labs, we're using probeware to collect data. We're using our Chromebooks to collect data, to analyze data. We're using graphical analysis to help look at the data we collect. The boards, the smart boards, allow us to show things and live stream and things like that.
So the old days of a test every Friday and lectures, that's kind of gone now. It's a lot of different types of learning.
I don't lecture.
You don't lecture.
I'll lecture. Maybe a 10-minute lecture is a long lecture for me. It's more, let's do something, let's see it, let's talk about it, whiteboard it, and draw conclusions. And so I'm more of a facilitator versus a lecturer.
So how does that type of teaching, Kamille and Nicolle, how does that help you as students where not a lot of lecturing? And really, I tell people all the time, the students should be more tired after class than the teachers, right? Sometimes it's the opposite. How does that help you as students, the type of teacher he is?
Well, for me, it helps because when teachers just sit there and talk, a lot of students zone out, and including me. And when the teacher just talks, and then when we get to, we do our work ourselves, we all have to communicate with each other so the students come to a conclusion. And it helps a lot because it makes our minds, think more.
Winner. That's right. We're good. Nicolle,
Yeah.
what do you think?
It's better because, me personally, I like interacting with the stuff in my classes. I can't sit there and just listen to someone talk because I'll fall asleep. So I really just like interacting with stuff, like the quick questions that Mr. Roegiers asked us, those really help me get things memorized.
Tell me, so you mentioned, Nicolle, AP biology.
Mhm.
For those that don't know what AP is, what does AP stand for?
advanced placement.
Okay, so obviously it's an upper level class.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, so taking AP biology, what advantages do you have taking that class?
Well, if I pass the AP test in May, then I'll get some college credit and I won't have to pay for it later on in college, which I'm really hoping I get. But yeah.
You'll do well. That's I don't want to say easy because that's relative, but AP biology is pretty straightforward. So, Mr. Roegiers, tell us about. So we offer advanced placement coursework in our high school curriculum. What other classes do we offer AP for students, for parents listening to this, or community members? Like, what courses do we offer as we get into Brooklyn High School?
Yeah, so we offer AP Physics now. We just started that this year, and our intent is to be able to offer that every year. And then we offer AP Bio and AP Chem on an alternating schedule so that students can take advantage of that their junior and senior years and earn some good college credit.
And so for those listening to advanced placement coursework is a national curriculum. So students score a certain, get a certain score on that test. They're able to earn college credit at basically most universities across the country. So whether they're going to school in Ohio or in California, they're able to take some of that credit with it. Ms. Deliz, let's switch to you real quick. One of Mr. Roegiers' role is department chair. And we have a department of 3 or 4 teachers, and we have 450, 500 students at Brooklyn High School. How is his role as department chair supportive of the work you do as assistant superintendent and director of curriculum?
Absolutely. So Mr. Roegiers is absolutely the pinnacle of what a department chair you want. So we are very, very fortunate to have him as our science department chair. He not only is it like what curriculum we need to order and the supplies that we need to replace, those basic things, but he is always striving to learn new skills and is very involved in different organizations and learning opportunities for teachers, and is always willing to come back and hold professional development. He's always, anytime I'm ever looking for somebody to hold something for the department, whether it's even down at Brooklyn School, he is absolutely always willing to step in, provide professional development. Any new teachers that we have come in, he is always one of the first that will say, hey, I'll mentor that person. I will support that person. I absolutely, we could not do all the teaching and learning things that happen without great department chairs like Mr. Roegiers.
And I will agree with that absolutely and completely. And I will say Mr. Roegiers is a fantastic science teacher. You guys are lucky, and he has been the best science teacher in that room over the last 30 years, definitely. So one last thing, and I want to end on a fun note. Tell me something funny and appropriate that has happened in science class that you want to talk about, that, or something exciting to you that you will take away with you at being a student in his class. Uh-oh.
I think Mr. Roegiers knows what I'm about to say. So one of my classmates was playing around with the lab stuff that we had in our chemistry class, and there was some acid spillage in the lab, and it got on one of my other classmates, but it's okay. We got it solved real quick.
And it obviously was not very powerful acid or anything like that. And we learned all of our safety tips in science, and everything was good, right?
Yeah, that was definitely my takeaway of that year.
Okay. Kamille, you got anything fun you want to talk or you remember from his class?
Well, my most funny thing that I remember is that more the beginning of the year when we started doing like Celsius and Fahrenheit. We would always try to say Fahrenheit and stuff, and he'd try to make us remember Celsius. So he would tell us, he would like yell at us, no bad words. In chemistry, like he don't say the F word. And we would think, what's the F word? And people would say it, and he would yell at them. We're like, what are you talking about? And it just made me remember it.
The things teachers have to do to get you guys to remember. Well, listen, this has been a great conversation. I'm so excited for the renovation. Nicolle, you're going to have to come back and visit and see all the cool things and all the technology and new lab space. Guess what? Science labs are going to have air. How about that? Mr. Roegiers, and everybody else in those science rooms. So everybody's going to be so jealous of them in August and September for sure. Well, listen, thank you to everybody. This has been the latest episode of the Hurricane Watch podcast, and it's been my pleasure to talk to our science department. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.